What's up, YouTube? Zan is back at it again. I'm stepping something. We're looking at the carbs on the GS650. Now, last episode, found out why we're leaking. One of the carbs has two gaskets and one has none. That's my bad. We're going to tear these carbs down. As we saw in the last one of the previous videos, not last one, but previous ones, the bike isn't quite running right. So we are going to rip them down and give everything a good cleaning here. See what we can do. See if we can find anything that's off. Obviously the floats all worked. Or well, look like they worked. But there's also a small filter in each carb. Somewhere up in there. I got to find them. I think I know where they are. And we're going to see if we can get that filter out. Make sure they're clean. We're going to pull all the jets out. We're going to clean everything up. Now, one thing I got to look up is if any of these things are set in here a certain distance. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy here. That's a rubber thing. I'm going to take stoppers off and take things off. We're going to make this right, but I just want to make sure I get it right the first time. Hey, look at that. Gasket, gasket. No gasket. This is supposed to go over there. I messed that up. That's my bad. Ooh, dropped apart already. Not good. That is one lock washer down, which I found. Hey, look at that. Yeah. So, got to play with the carbs a bit, see what we can do. Oh, there's some dirt in there. Okay. I have carb cleaner as well, but I'm going to try to get all these little parts out and put them in with the, well, let's do it this way. This would be this one. This would be this one. I'm keeping them separated by carb right now. That's this one. Just for my own peace of mind, keeping everything separated. I don't think it's going to matter. Do you guys? I don't think so. Should be fine, right? 2, 3. I'm missing a lock washer. Again. Oh, right there. So, trying to stay organized as we go. But at least these held fuel. They weren't leaking except for the one that didn't have the gasket, which, I mean, my bad. But I'll probably have to go upstairs at some point, read the repair manual for these just to make sure I get everything down to the right spec before putting them back together. I'm noticing some of these, like this is angled that way, that's angled that way for those two. I don't know if that makes a difference. I know that the fuel to air ratio mixer is on the top of this carb, and one of them's busted. So could that be causing problems in one of the carbs because there's extra air coming through that hole? I don't know. Which is, this is theories. That's the throttle control system for how much or how little throttle. Okay. And one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to unsync these carbs from where they are. If I can at all help it. I would love to not deal with trying to sync these and hoping that cleaning them will do the trick we need. Fingers crossed, right? But we'll find out. We'll find out as we go. So like this one's got a little bit of, let's see if the gasket cleaner will scrape it off. There's a little wet spot there, and there's a little bit of some corrosion or something on there. Oh, it's breaking up something, so that could be a problem. And maybe I'll go through and scrape off some of these surfaces and make them cleaner. There's a little bit of dirt on each one of these. And inside of these looks kind of dirty, so maybe that's all it needed to do is maybe the dirt that's in there is coming up and getting up top and causing air to fuel ratio mixture problems. We'll spray it all out. We'll clean everything out the best we can and we'll get going. Yeah, so I'm just going to start disassembling, bring you back when things are apart more. We'll talk about more things. Yeah. Okay, YouTube, starting to expose some stuff down here. And one thing I almost forgot from my old ones is pick in there, Get these little spacers off. And I think these, ooh, push through. I guess so. I think once I take the top parts off, this will push through. But this one in general, like, I don't know if you can see it, but I can look in there and I can see a lot of corrosion in something in that. This is this one, that one. I can see a lot of stuff in there, which could be causing some issues. So, oh yeah, it's caught. Oh, it is not moving well. So there is, there's definitely something in there, dirt, debris, something that we got to get out, which could be causing all of our problems. So good news is we've got a ultrasonic cleaner here for when we get to that point. But we also are going to have to get these floats out, which are going to be slightly difficult just because you got to punch each one of these pins out. Ooh, this one's broken. Look at that, guys. So someone's been in here, obviously, which over all the years you would expect that. We're just going to try to just use the hand tap method. It moved just a touch, but not a lot. There it goes. So gently, gently, gently. And then we lift the float out, which looks like it's in good condition. Oh, maybe not. So yeah, this carb's broken, technically, but we'll work on that. Then we take out this guy, I don't know, whatever that's called. 4. I'll put in 4 here. I don't remember all these parts off the top of my head. I'm dropping things. But it's good to disassemble as much as you can out of here. That way everything can get cleaned up. Or, if you can, if it's possible, because it's an older bike, might be possible, get a carb rebuild kit. Those are good. Pretty sure this guy just needs a little wiggle out. Okay. And then there's there's crap in there too. What is that? Let's try to get down to that. Let's try to get that out before we... Yeah, there's some crap in these carbs. So, piece of something in there. Okay. Oh, it's gritty. Oof. Well, that might be our running problem here. Some grit and crap in here. Trying to get in while it's running. So what I'm going to do for the rest of these carbs is obviously flip them over, take the tops off, but we're going to get this guy out, which is a little... Oh, sorry, probably look down. Probably look for you guys can actually see it. Let's check this out. In here, little flathead twisted out. This just needs to be wiggled out. I think it's got a gasket on it, and then this gets pushed out that way. If you guys can see this the way I can, there's a lot of dirt in this one. This one looks kind of dirty. So there's some cleaning to be done here, which is a great time to do it. Is pick up the stuff I dropped first. Is while I'm here, like, might as well do it now instead of take it apart again. So then, why didn't you do this in the first place? So I want to get the bike running first. So I dove into other parts to make sure we were running, and I thought it was the starter issue until I got down to the starter, which was already after taking the carbs off. So. All right. Yep. Oof. So, like I presumed, there was a gasket in there that caused me a little problem. I marred this up just a touch, but it shouldn't be a problem. And now we get to the fun part, if this will come out. There's a filter down here. And I thought it was supposed to be attached to this. Apparently it's not. So let's get a hook and see if we can get it out without breaking anything. Well, it's slightly moved. Let's see what in this filter looks like. It could just be disgusting. Oh, there's like a rubber. Okay. I see what we're dealing with here. Okay, got it. And let's take a look. There is a little bit of particle on it. Not much, but if I look down in there, it looks like it's a touch milky. Let's grab a different pick. Let's get in there. Let's grab a dirty rag. Take a corner off. Clean corner. Yeah, there's definitely some grit in here, which means maybe the filter was doing its job. Let's just jam that in there for a second. Pull it back out. All right, yeah, there's a little bit. I mean, we'll clean that up with carb cleaner, not a problem. I think I'm going to recommend to the owner getting a carb kit for this, because there's a broken float. There's some other stuff going on here that I would just feel better if we had a full kit. Now the next thing I have to find is a small flathead. I used to have one. I think it's in the house again. Like everything else I need out in my garage, I have it in the house because we're rebuilding our house. So that might have to be a different day. But let's just work on float, or on number 4 for a second. Because if this is on the bike, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to take the top off this thing and look at what's underneath here. I guess 4mm. This is why I wanted to work on the, I was trying to work on the GS650 earlier and get this head back on, but I was having trouble cleaning this, so I got my polisher out. And of course, it's a 12-volt Milwaukee and the battery's dead. So another thing I want to do is go to the store and get new bolts. I mean, the exact same bolts, just new ones that come in stainless steel. And I think I said that in a previous video. That's what I wanted to do. Just because these are going to get rusty and they're going to get crusty and gross, which they're already starting to. And why do we want that? We don't want that. Yeah. Okay. And then this will also show us the condition of the rubber inside the top of the carb. Okay, spring looks good. This is going to be a needle. All right. The rubber looks like it's in good condition. That's always good to see. Cool. Love it. Just put that right somewhere. I need more desk space. I need more bench. I need a bigger bench. Used to it. Don't want anything to poke it, so let's get that away from it. Now we should be able to let's be good with it. Should be able to get that jet out. I'm pretty sure that's what that is the jet. I think if we just put this in here and push, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Aha! And we're out. Now, jets have these tiny little holes in them that allow fuel to go to the top of the carb and everything. And then you put put one of these guys in here, like so, to pull it literally to the bottom of the carb. Holds in place. That's what it would look like. And then these little orifices get full of stuff sometimes and cause bad running conditions. So we'll throw this to the ultrasonic cleaner, see if anything comes out of it. I can't really tell. I'd have to get a better flashlight. Well, I guess if I just look through it, if I get the right angle, that looks clear. That looks clear. They look clear, but you never know. Little particles and stuff in there. Other than that, there's another small flathead on this side I can pull out. I don't remember what that is. Like, it's choke jet. I don't remember all the little exact terms. I just know how it goes together. So if you want more of an in-depth, don't watch my video, watch somebody else's. But yeah, it's bad finding out that one of the carbs is busted. It's not in a way that's detrimental to this, but it's enough that it makes me wonder what else could be broken or wrong with this thing. So anyways, I'm going to pull the rest of the carbs apart. I'm going to send this picture to the owner so that he knows what's going on. And I'm going to recommend a carb rebuild kit to him, which it sounds like he wants his bike running well, so I don't see why that would be a problem. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know, right? Some people are like, no, got too much into this already. And I'll be like, well, can't guarantee anything then. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll keep working. All right, YouTube, we have Suzuki parts coming to the ultrasonic cleaner. Whew, they're warm. It looks like we got some nice parts. Nice. Ultrasonic cleaner's got a hot cycle in it too, which is nice. Warms the parts up so my hands don't freeze. Now we're going to wipe all these down. We're going to put them over where the XS650 parts were. Let them dry out for a bit before reassembly. Then we're going to hose some of these off with carb cleaners to break up any other gunk that might be in like orifices. Like, actually, I don't think anything can get in there, but we're going to hose it off anyways. So we'll clean some more by hand, but I mean, we already broke up a whole bunch of garbage out of them because you can see it in the water still. So that's always exciting. But there's a ton of teeny little parts in here. So I gotta make sure I don't lose anything, because that would suck. And we're gonna try to rebuild these carbs the best we can with the broken parts we have found in there. Just because we did find the broken parts, I've told the owner, and I then told him that I found race carbs basically for this bike for like 800 bucks. He goes, if that's what it takes. And I was like, whoa, dude, maybe. But I don't want to go and spend a lot of money on this bike. It is 1981. So it's not the newest bike out there. So, I mean, like, 700 bucks get you a good amount towards a nicer bike too. And like, I don't know what you're spending on this thing. It's not like it was. I know it's his first bike. Get this back out. But it's not. It's still not the nicest. We got some residue still up here that I'm gonna scrape off. Let's see. Yep. I want to get these surfaces nice and clean. Get anything that's kind of sticky off of them. Really want those gaskets to hold all the fuel they can in there. We don't want it coming out. What's that, sir? That looked like just some corrosion. I don't know what it could be exactly, but we'll get it apart. 2, 3, 4, perfect. Now it's all these little itty bitty parts in here. Look at this. Voila! Look at those. Oh my lord! There's little springs I think that have even fallen through this, but I mean we'll have to retrieve those out of the bath later. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun with these. Rebuilding these in my spare time. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe all these down. We're make them look nice and clean. Lay them out. Probably clean off some of my desk. Pound a Mountain Dew, and get a really nice setup here for rebuilding these. I still have to go through these. The actual carbs themselves, I'm going to spray out a whole lot of different things with carb cleaner. Make sure every orifice that's supposed to have, you know, openings in it, then sprays out somewhere else where they're supposed to go, so we can get the fuel to air ratio as close to perfect in this as possible. As I'm dropping parts on the floor. Oh, these screens came out really nice. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but I can. There was all this little bit of corrosion around it. Now it's just cleaned right up. Yeah. Okay, we'll be back with more. Okay, so I've got all the carbs parts sorted out here. Everything I can pull out of there except for like a couple little pins, which we left in there because they're not really crucial to the fuel-air ratio, but they are cleaned up. And then I've cleaned the carbs themselves, sprayed them down, checked all the oh, excuse me. Checked all the different orifices I could. sprayed into every hole that I could find, and either something came out the other side or dribbled out. You know, at least there's movement in there. So everything's good. There was a little bit of corrosion in one of the cylinders, one of the carbs for cylinder 2 or 3. I forget which one exactly, but clean that up. And now this all gets to go back into there. I've got a couple parts left in there, just running them through one more time, just to make me feel better. And then might as well drop this in there, let it clean up. And then we're gonna lubricate all these different springs with just a touch of lithium grease, just to make sure they're good to go. I got some of the 650 parts back in the bike, so that's good. I'm making some room over here. XS650, GS650, XG. Okay. And then we're going to replace all these bolts back here. These were on the top of the carbs, holding the tops on, and they're rusty and crusty and grusty. I made up crusty. So I'm going to take those, take one of those over to the hardware store, and I'm going to find some stainless steel bolts that'll match those. Put those on so that we'll never have that rust problem again. I also need to, where are they? Take the tops of these and try to get some of this rust off if possible. Maybe these go through the ultrasonic, just to see if any of that will come off. It's not detrimental to it, but I'm trying to make these nice. We'll add just a touch of lithium grease to the springs as well. It's just something I've done before and seems to have worked. And whatever, it's not going to hurt anything. And then just a touch of, what's the other stuff I have? Silicone grease to the rubber. Silicone? Right? I think it's silicone grease. It says right on it that it's for rubber parts, keeping them nicer longer, I guess. So I've dropped those on other ones before, and it seems to have helped with the flexibility of them for a bit. Don't know how long the flexibility of them lasts, but it makes me feel better too. So if there's something else I should be using, you guys let me know. Love to know if there's like, you know, hey Zan, this is the best thing. This is what you need to do. Or, yo, you're doing this completely wrong. What are you talking about? That works. But I mean, my 650 was working pretty well before I messed the other part of the engine up. But the carbs were running well, so we'll see. See how these come out. Yeah, gonna get on to reassembly pretty soon, and yeah, we'll be back for more fun, right? Yeah, more fun. All right, I've got this one carb mostly reassembled. I went out and bought some new hardware for the top. Nice new stainless steel for the top of this. Got the rest of the parts over here. I got to do a little teeny bit more cleaning on these. I got most of the rust off, but I think I've got a little Scotch-Brite pad somewhere. I can just a little bit. But I got to find it. So we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna get this car back together, and then we're gonna do the rest of them. Right. Okay. Getting back to work. Yeah, all right. The carbs are 100% back together. And I've got the new hardware on the top, the stainless steel. Instead of these guys, which were pretty rusty, decided to go stainless steel for everything across the top. Get everything tightened down, torqued down, ready to go. This is ready to go back in a bike. There we go. They're nice. Can keep them moving. Yeah, we're going to get this back in the GS650 now. This, and then I have to do a little bit of work on... I got to stay on that railing still. The tank is over here. I got to flip that over, solder that on. I want to do that before I put the tank on. Because if I put the tank on and that's not soldered on, then I got to take the tank back off again, drain the fuel out. So let's get that done. We'll get some soldering done, some wire work here. I don't need this anymore. Yes. All my bolts complete. Yeah, and no leftover parts. These are the old bolts, old washers. Carbs for the XS650. I got nothing left, guys. I love when a project comes together and there's no bolts left. There shouldn't be, right? Okay. Let's get the tank up here. Let's get... where's all my soldering stuff? It's either in the attic or it's in the house. or it's somewhere. So I gotta go find all that. Let's get set up for the next step of the project. Clean some of this desk off, put some of these tools away, and we'll tackle that. Cool? Cool. Cool. All right. These two wires here, this black and yellow wire, are for the fuel gauge, which the sensor is in the tank still, and the wiring for the rest of it, which is these two plugs here, these two barrel plugs, already on the bike. Now what happened is I pulled this off the bike and found that there's just like wire was split. This was two connectors that I took apart, one of these, and if you can tell, there's still copper in there, but they're not connected. So, and it wasn't waterproof or anything, and it looked terrible. So what I'm going to try to do is solder these two together nicely. If I can, I'm just going to twist them together the best I can for now to hold them temporarily. Okay, should be fine. I'd sit down, but the tank's on there, so let's see if we got enough heat. Probably not to get enough solder going. Oof. Not quite enough yet to get solder going. I also don't really have any thin solder left for anything, so I have some of this Autocraft solder, and I've got some of the electrical solder. Oh, this is actually thinner. Electrical solder. Maybe this will warm up easier. It is electrical. Or it's thinner, I mean. Yep, starting to heat up a bit. We'll get there. Also have my cleaning doohickey here. Love these things. Some heat shrink tubing. Oh, I've got some flux here too. Oh my gosh, it's probably just solidified in here. If it's any good at all, it's been in here a while. There it goes. Let's see what we're working with here. Oh, it's tight. It's probably just gross and oh wow, it's still liquidy. So you can use flux, and I forgot to put any on there to. This isn't a brush. Oh, it's not bad. It's still in good condition. It promotes adhesion of the solder. So if I can get a little bit on here, and I know this isn't a brush or anything, I'm just gonna dab a little on there. Should help just a touch. Okay, and then with this exposed end, which we're gonna cut this end because this is the old end that was hanging out there. So probably a little corrosion on that. Let's get some fresh copper to play with here. Much better. Dip that in there. There we go. Now that's coated in resin. Good to go. Now we just gotta wait for this soldering iron to heat up and twist it a little bit. It's been in the attic for a little. At least it still works. Okay. There we go. Starting to melt some here. There we go. I'm going to get down on a knee because the stool's taken. And we'll get this a little heated up. Get some more solder on that. Okay, it's not the cleanest, but looped together, soldered. Can't have the shrink on me while I'm doing this. So then we put our heat shrink tubing over that. Voila. Let's make sure it's pretty centered in there. That should work. Now we'll heat shrink that up. That should keep it pretty darn waterproofed. Voila. Now this will now connect to the bike and then to the tank. But this end, as you can tell, was crimped on here. Looks good, but it's not waterproofed again. So what I end up doing is Do I have enough of this? Is this quarter? Can't tell what we are. Well, we're just going to do it now. Get it over with. Now to help waterproof this, and I don't know if this is going to be fully waterproofed. Oh, that cut didn't work. Much better. Just going to slide this piece of heat shrink over the top. We're going to get right to the tip there. And we're going to heat that up. That should keep it, at least if this connector comes in contact with anything else, it can't short it out. At least that's the goal of this. Voila, look at that. Tighten that right up. So now this will slide right on there. Not a problem. Okay, now this will slide right on there. Rubber might be just a touch in the way. Okay, there we go. And then that's a waterproof connection. Now the other thing we're going to do is when we get these two together, we're going to heat shrink this whole tube as one together. From this is where the original heat shrink, I'm going to call it, was, to all the way up to the top of this, because they plug in so close together. Now it's the moment of truth. Can I get the tank over here and in a position to solder with something still connected to the tank, or can we take the wire off the tank? And there's still fuel in the tank. That's always fun. We'll be fine, I hope. End of video. Ooh, ultrasonic cleaner's coming apart. Whoops. Dropping things in the ultrasonic cleaner. Come on. Okay, so this looks like it's soldered on already, so I don't want to mess with that connection because it's solid. It works. I checked it. Now we're gonna have to cut this yellow off here. And I hope this angle for the camera works for you guys, because I dropped the camera the other day and changed the angle of it, and don't know how far away I have to be for things. Dip that in the solder, or dip that in the resin. Now the resin's good. We can put it away if we can find the top to it, which I hid back here on myself. Beautiful. Beautiful. Get that out of the way. Grab our other yellow side. Let's do that same two things. We need to get our, not my drink, our small heat shrink tube, which is right there behind the tank. Great place for it. Way to go, Zan. Make it about the same length, just so that for consistency's sake. We'll slide this onto the tank end. As far as we can. Get out of the way. For this, I wish I had my helping hands out here, which are two clamps that will hold each end of the wire. Just makes this a touch easier. But now that the soldering iron's actually heated up pretty well, we should be okay. Let's grab this. Let's grab the solder. This should actually go maybe a little easier than the last one. Where's the end of it? A lot faster. Okay, so this thing's heated up now. Oh, okay, that's all our problem was last time. Was the soldering was not heated up nearly hot enough. Okay. Oh, I have it. Yeah, let's turn this down now that it's heated up. Clean the tip off best we can. You can go to sleep in there. Should be done with you for a minute. Voila. Now, same routine. Make sure we're solid. We're solid. Okay. Okay, we'll get it on there. And now it's going to be fun because we're using fire near a gas tank. Now we're waterproofed. Beautiful. Shouldn't have any problems with this connection now. This is going to go in here like this. Voila. These two should be close to the same length. Darn close. Perfect. Now that I look at this, I got to get my heat shrink tube over both of those all the way up. And I don't know if it's going to be big enough for that. Might be okay. Oh, it's gonna be fine. It'll be fine. Right? Yeah, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna make it just fine. Okay. I might have to trim this in a minute, but we're going to get close. Alright, little finagling. We got it through. Now the fun part is heating it up. Oh no, is my lighter running out? Uh-oh. Might be time for a new lighter. I normally do this much with a heat gun, but I have no idea where it is, and now that my lighter's out, I might have to go find it. Alright, we got the wire through, two ends here, lined up pretty well. We're going to heat this up. I got a long, nice lighter here because mine was dying. Didn't really give me a lot of flame, so we're just going to go across this a couple times, shrink this tube down a bit. All right, got it. Yeah, it's much tighter now. It's not as loose of a bind. Now this, I do believe, was supposed to go behind here somewhere and clamp on, but it wasn't when we got the bike. So I'm just gonna put it back in there. Now I can plug into the bike. Oops, I hit the camera, and should be able to get fuel readings now. But it is not time to put this back on first, because before you can put a fuel tank on, you have to put carbs in. And I'm tired and I don't want to, but I'm determined and I have to. Now I really got to get this railing done out of my garage, but I like to sand it outside because of all the parts in here that are exposed that I don't want to create more sawdust. So this thing's just been in my way for like 3 weeks. Because every chance I get to do anything, it either rains or it gets like today where it starts to snow in April in Buffalo. But by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be May or June because I have so many videos lined up. So we got our carbs over there. We are going to grab just a touch of this one, silicone spray. This is my it's my fun trick to get the carbs on. We have to grab, grab everything we need, right? We need a number 2 and a flathead screwdriver. Phillips and flathead, nice. Now the lighting over here isn't going to be as good because everything's over there. Okay. So step one is to reconnect the throttle cable. And then it's the clutch. Throttles, I find these easiest when they're way outside of the bike like this. Not connected to the bike itself, because then I have a lot of issues with trying to see everything. And then I think if the throttle's all the way down, I then have a problem with it trying to get in there, because there's other things in the way on the carbs. Yep. Okay. Throttle's on. That'll connect up here. And we will just hand tighten this, because these have been on and off so many times. I'm not going to say we're done with them. But now at least it can't come out. The choke has to go in as well. And this one's twists in like that. And then it should, oh no, not quite in. 3/4 in. Let's pull it back. It's a weird angle for this thing. There it goes, in, up, and it'll tighten in up here. But that one we'll worry about in a second. Once we then align this, okay, that should be fine there. Alright. I'm going to hand tighten the choke. I'm not going to, it's too tight. I was going to hand tighten the choke. Alright, that looks good. Now we're going to adjust the throttle just a bit so that it cannot come out of there while I'm messing with it. Now all these things I'm adjusting here, we can mess with just a touch later and really tighten up. But I want to get them so that there's less movement when this thing starts running again. So in case I want to like blip the throttle, it's not going to slip. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got all my clamps in place. I'm going to take a touch of silicone spray. I'm going to turn it the right way so I don't blast my face with it, and just perfect. Put it on the carbs so that when I try to go into the boots it's a little easier. And then I just get on top and I get it aligned. And is the bike on center? The problem I'm going to have right now is the bike is free floating. It is not as it was before. It was on the lift and it was locked in place. So now that the bike can roll a bit and move and shift, might have a little trouble getting these on. So, oh, we might be okay. Never mind. Start off with one. Try to get two into place as well. And one looks like it's in there pretty darn good. Now my trick, and I think I showed this in a previous video, is now I tighten the crap out of one. And that's cylinder one for everyone out there. Tighten cylinder one up. Why? That holds it in place, so when I push on cylinder 4, it won't pop cylinder 1 back out. Well, I get all those in and aligned. Voila, voila. Cylinder 1's in. Now we work on cylinder 4. Make sure all of our clamps are close enough. We're also running into the problem that these bikes are very tight together now in this garage. at a very awkward angle. I think if I were to turn this way, okay, slide back behind here and kind of use the front of the bike and pull. There we go. We are in. 1 has not moved. 2, 3, we are all in. Yay, carbs are on. Woo! It's always fun getting the carbs on. Not really. Now, this bike has a flathead clamp on 4. I'm buzzing up there. And Phillips on 1, 2, and 3. Why? You asked the previous owner. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do to get this thing working. 2. It's gotta be done. I like to try to get these at an angle where I know I'll be able to get to them again in the future. I don't like having to take things apart and then have to take something else away from the front of it if I don't have to. And I know you guys are upside down, so am I. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are good. Now I know I've checked this already, but clutch works flawlessly now. Before it was very tight and stiff, and I know I have to clamp this back in somehow. I gotta figure out how this, oh, that's how it goes. Somehow this choke clamps in here pretty well, but I gotta figure out exactly how it goes. There we go. That just screws in there. Okay, so we've got the bike. Turn signals still work, and everything's hooked up. Now all we have to do is attach the gas tank, move this back a bit, and we should be able to test fire it. So let me get the tank. We'll work on that. And we'll test fire this thing again today. Well, again, right now. But again. All right, YouTube, moment of truth. Okay. Heard fuel. Beautiful. Now this bike does not have kickstart. It's got choke. It's got run. Good start. Take the brake off. Oh man. All right, YouTube, had there running for a bit, got it kind of balanced out a teeny bit, like RPM-ish sounding wise. Now it starts up, it's got no choke right now. Tachometer's still not working yet. So I can't tell what RPM we're at yet, but I'm going to try to use the one off my XS650 to test it. Got a fan, I had a fan on a second ago blowing some of the exhaust out of here. It got a little smoky because the wind was blowing it back in. It's cold as hell out too, so that might not be why, or it might be why it's not running 100% right, as it's freaking cold. A. B. I don't have any filters on the carbs. Shouldn't cause that much of a problem, but you know, a little bit here, a little there. Yeah, let's close that. I'm freaking cold now, but I'm just happy to report that we're running. I felt a little bit of moisture down here at one point, and I got a little bit of fuel, so I might have to. Yeah, the car. I probably should have just bought a rebuild kit and put new gaskets all the way around. That's probably all it is, because I know I tightened everything up pretty good, and there's just like a touch of fuel coming out of this. See if I can see it coming out. Yeah, so I probably should have just bought a rebuild kit because I suck. But I'm just happy it's running better. Hope the owner's happy about that too. And what else? Yeah, when it gets a little warmer out, we'll take it out. We'll let it run, let it really warm up, and we'll move it around a few times. You know, make sure the transmission's working well. Oh, it's warm. It's cold out there. But yeah, it's back up and running. GS650S. No, GS650GL. It's back up and running temporarily. I don't really want to take the carbs out again, but we're going to. And it probably needs more fuel. I don't think the fuel gauge actually is reading anything. It is very low. Like, I'm surprised it ran for as long as it did. Low. But it ran. And it warmed up and kept running and got off choke. So a few more tweaks. Maybe a rebuild kit. Maybe put the carbs back together with new gaskets. I'm pretty sure the gaskets are just shot in the bottom of them because it's just barely leaking. As much as I don't want to take it all back apart again. Whatever. And the gaskets are easy. It's just it's 16 bolts and it's out. So we're gonna call this good for the night. I'm beat. It's dark out. I'm Zan. Whew. You guys keep building stuff until it runs again. Yeah. Yeah. What a blast. We'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.